Okay, so I usually don't really do a lot of theory videos, but this one's been kind of itching in the back of my head for a little bit, and I figured, what the hell, I'll do a theory video. I'll do a theory video for The Flash. Now, this theory's actually recently come up in my head, and it's focused around Eddie. I know there's been a lot of talk about Eddie being the Reverse Flash or becoming the Reverse Flash, and there has been this theory thrown around as well, and I'm inclined to believe this one until otherwise. Now, let me say this, that my theory could be absolutely thrown out the window. It could be absolutely thrown out the window in this show, and I'd be totally fine with it. In fact, it may never happen, but on the off chance it does, because this could make a lot of sense and make up for an interesting story. Here's my theory, right off the bat. Now, the theory I had with Eddie is that he may not be the second Reverse Flash. He may not be the Reverse Flash at all. Instead, I think he may be another Flash villain that showed up in the Wally West era. That villain's name is Cobalt Blue, aka Malcolm Thawne. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, think about it. Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash, said that, Eddie was a distant relative. In the comics, Malcolm Thawne is Eobard Thawne's relative, his direct descendant. So, making Eobard Thawne, him Barry's great granduncle. Yeah. For those who don't know, Barry Allen, Malcolm Thawne is really Barry Allen's long-lost brother, who, in the comics, it's a very weird story. It's very weird, but I'm going to try to explain it. This kind of started the Thawne and Allen family rivalry. The story was that, the Thawnes gave birth to twins, but the doctor accidentally killed one of them, and rather than go tell the Thawnes that their son had died, he stole the Allens' other child and left Barry, and saying that they had a stillborn and he got rid of it, and gave the Thawnes the other kid, making him Malcolm Thawne. Yeah. Well, actually, no, there wasn't a set of twins for the Thawnes. They just had a stillborn, and the doctor basically stole the kid, gave it to the Thawnes, saying, "Here's your kid." It doesn't, and then he told the Allens that their son, that their other child from their twins, had a miscarriage. So literally, it was one doctor's fault. Now, I told you this story was weird. Basically, what Cobalt Blue, that's the villain's name, Cobalt Blue, Malcolm Thawne's villain name, is that he can harness the power of this blue gem that can give him blue fire-based abilities. It's kind of magic-based and science at the same time. It varies in multiple stories. It could give him super speed. Hell, in most incarnations, it can actually give him this weird angelic fire armor thing. It's very weird. But Cobalt Blue, that's who I'm thinking Eddie Thawne may be. I think Eddie may be really Malcolm Thawne. Like, they'll reveal that his full name is Edward Malcolm Thawne, or Malcolm Edward Thawne, and he just goes by his middle name. He just goes by Eddie, referring to his middle name Edward. So that could be that may be the possibility that that Eddie may be really Malcolm Thawne and may become Cobalt Blue. I'm gonna bet I'm 50-50 on this theory. Now, what kind of version of Cobalt Blue could Eddie become if he does become Cobalt Blue? I'm gonna say this version right here. I doubt we'll see in CW budget the giant, angel fire armor shit that he had. I'm thinking something more like this, like a Flash version, and whenever he runs, he creates that giant, like a blue firestorm behind him, like a blue streak of fire behind him. So that's what I'm thinking, and I think that would make for, and you're probably thinking to myself, TV wouldn't be that stupid, wouldn't be able to do something that stupid, right? We've seen the whole, oh my god, I'm your long-lost brother kind of story in multiple television, and I wouldn't put it past CW to do something. But however, I do have a little more faith if they do the whole long-lost brother thing between Eddie and Barry, that... because the show's been doing really good and handles cliches very well. So I think they could handle the whole cliche. And I would actually kind of like to see Barry's reaction to Eddie being his brother. If... I'm saying this is just a wild theory I have. But I would honestly like to see Barry's reaction to him and Eddie being brothers. Like, it's always just been him, Barry and his dad's in prison. He's never really had, outside of Joe and Iris, a actual family for a long time. So when he finds out, oh my god, I have a brother with Eddie's my brother. And I think it would be cool if they revealed that first, and then eventually later on down the road make him Cobalt Blue. If they decide to make him Cobalt Blue. Anyway, but yeah, I would like to see that, because then when, if Eddie in this story becomes Cobalt Blue, then you can see Barry just like, I can't fight my brother, Eddie and I were friends before I even realized we were siblings, and now I have to fight, the one sibling I had in the world, and it's killing me. So I think that would make for a I think this would make for a very interesting story, because again, we've seen The Flash in the Flash TV show, and see it handle, cliches, and handle them well. And CW's been known to make these kind of cliches happen in their other TV shows. So, revealing that, that Eddie is really, his real name being Malcolm Thawne, or just going, they could even skip the whole Malcolm name, and just call him, make Eddie Thawne, and go with that story. I would say, yeah. It could be a possibility of him making him Cobalt Blue. So, anyway, again, just a weird theory I had, just a fun theory I thought I'd throw out here, and just play around with it. And I was just like, you know what, this has been scratching at the back of my head for a while, I'm just going to come out here and do a quick video on it. But this is just my theory, and for all I know, this theory could be completely wrong. I've been wrong on most theories than I have been right. And I'm not the only one who's thought about, Eddie being really Cobalt Blue. And, yeah. I'm just throwing this out here. Again, I'm not the first one to think that. I know my good friend Mr. J over at Mr. J's Comic Reviews has thought up this idea, as well as several other people as well. So he may be another Reverse Flash, or he may be Cobalt Blue, or he may be some other character. Or he can just, Eddie Thawne can just be Eddie Thawne, just like Tommy Merlin can just be Tommy Merlin. Who knows? But anyway, you guys tell me, what do you guys think of this theory? Could Eddie be Cobalt Blue in the future? And if not, who do you think he could be, or do you prefer him just to be, regular old Eddie Thawne that might get killed at the end of the season, because that's what happened to Tommy? Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.